Hi everyone, happy Sunday. So, I have some books for you, and I was hoping to have that Fantasy Women book completed, but I have one more picture to do today, and then I'm either going to do a flip through Monday or maybe Tuesday of that. I also am going to have some other books come in to do a flip through maybe later this next week. And I'm going to post my coloring calendar, my coloring planner stuff on the community page because I just don't think it suffices for a video because there's not going to be too much to do about it. Just a calendar and a couple pages because May's going to be a tough month for me. Lots of stuff happening at work. I am traveling possibly to Seattle for a week with my team, which will be a lot of fun. I haven't seen them since September, so I am looking forward to that. However, I'm not looking forward to it because there's going to be a lot more. It's not going to be as... I'm still a little worried about like COVID exposure because the offices are going to be really busy and we're going to be around a lot of people, so I'm going to have to be a lot more careful about masking. I'm not real thrilled about just being around that many people, and COVID's still going on. Don't come at me in the comments. You can go somewhere else if you don't like that I'm saying that. It's still a thing. They want to act like it's not, but it is. And I can't afford to get any sicker than I already am and develop any more long-term issues if I want to continue working. So, anyway. So there's that, and there's some policy changes at work, and I'm trying to figure out how they're going to affect me, and it's been a lot of waiting and seeing the past few months, and I've got some decisions to make, depending on how that comes back, and so that on top of the fact that all my projects have hit at once this month and they're all due probably the first or second week of June, it's just May's going to be like just a very tough month. So because it feels like all I've done is be down because I am. It's life is hard right now and I can't come back out of it no matter how positive. I'm just not a think positive type of person. Never have been, never will. There will be a time I can start to work my way out of this, but right in the middle of all this extra stress and additional things worrying me is not going to be the time. So just to let you guys know, I may not be posting very many videos in May, and if somebody's watching this video, I don't want them to worry about me. I'm just trying to survive, but otherwise, you know, if anything major were to happen, I obviously would share that with you guys. But if there's not a lot of videos being posted, I've got my head down and I'm trying to survive the month. So plus every time I get on here, it's always down stuff, and while I don't mind doing that with my channel, I try to share my good and my bad with you. There just seems to be a lot of bad lately, and even I'm kind of tired of talking about it, though I can't seem to help but want to talk about it. So I'm going to stick to things like this, like flip throughs. I've got some coloring supplies to do a haul, and I've got a stack of books, of course, that I can show you guys that I've been getting over the past month. Any color and chats, I'm going to just hold off for a while, depending on how things go at work. If I got to do a color and chat that's a sad color and chat, I'd rather just get it all out in one color and chat. So we're going to wait a little while on that. And so hopefully past that point, things will start looking up. So just wanted to share that with you guys. I thought about my video from Friday, and I was like, I know, I'm not saying y'all are tired of it, but like, it's got to be just like, geez, every time I go over there, like, she is, and I am, and I mean, I'm not gonna deny that and pretend or anything, but there's no sense in making every video a complete downer of a video if I can just stick to simple like flip throughs and supply hauls and stuff, and try to keep those at least neutral, if you will. So that's kind of the plan for May, just as a heads up. So, alright. I probably should have said that Friday, but... So I did snag, at the end of the book depository thing, I snagged 2 more books, and the reason I didn't show this in the book depository one is these were already unavailable on there, and so I figured I'd just hold off and wait on them for another haul. I've seen people coloring these books, and this was on Coloring Queen's recommended list. One of these was. And I looked at it, and I thought, oh, this is cute, so I ended up getting them both. This is Christl Vogl. And the top, I actually did the translate this time. So this is a coloring trip is what it translates this to. And I laughed and laughed because when I typed this one in, it said Adventures of the Blood Elves. And that sounds so metal for what looks like such a cuddly happy book. So I'm not 100% sure if I trust Google Translate there. So anybody knows German, you know, maybe it does. I know sometimes like certain unique traits of languages and stuff, and how you would actually say it gets lost in a translating tool. So but maybe it actually does say Adventures of the Blood Elves, I don't know, but it just seems pretty metal. Like, it almost makes me want to use like turn this into like a horror book, you know. Anyway, these are shorter than typical coloring books, just so y'all know. Like, okay, now I've lost the camera. There it is. Alright. So there you go. That's like a standard size coloring book. It's definitely shorter. And then you open it up, and like the cover is loose from the spine, so I did not translate all this, though I should have. And the pictures in here are absolutely adorable. I love like fairies and elves and dwarves. And see, here it actually shows you like how to shade, and I'm sure it's talking about all the different types of techniques and such. So I will have to use Google Translate on all these. I'm sure this is warm and cool tones, just from the difference there. And then we get started. I'm not sure if these are talking about the different types of elves. Well, you know, him back there, he looks a little blood elfy, doesn't he? Look at those horns and that kind of look about him. He looks a little blood elfy. Aren't these cute though? I love that they're shorter books. They don't, even though the pictures are a little busy, it still doesn't feel as overwhelming as like a full-size coloring book would. So and I don't know, maybe blood elves isn't such necessarily a bad thing in German. Like, maybe I just think of blood elves as like little leeches that come and attack you, like mosquitoes, if you will. Though with the wings, I would assume a lot of these are fairies as well, so. Love the darker shading in some of these pictures too. You already have some shading introduced for you, which I think is really cool. I was wondering where the other half of them legs went, and then I finally figured it out. That mouse back there looks very concerned. But they're trying to wake that one dude up. And they look very terrified back here. Like, is he destructive? Is he, maybe he's the blood elf. Maybe he's the one that brings chaos to their world, and they're like, "Don't wake him up. What are you doing?" It's a little bit thinner line art, but like a Joanna Basford kind of thinness. It's not super. It's this type of line art I'm okay with. It's just when you get, even though there's some really beautiful like pencil sketchy type books out there, it's that pencil thin line that I struggle with a lot. And that's just because I tend to use markers, and those require me to be a little more careful with my coloring, which isn't a bad thing. I just struggle with it. Excuse me. Almost have like the hiccups this morning. He's got like thumbtacks all in his hat. I feel like these would take a while, mostly just for the backgrounds, just picking those apart in some of these pictures, like what goes with what. Kind of like Kirby Rosanna's, if you will. Not all the pictures are super busy like that, but quite a few are. Oh, that would have been a cute Easter one. I've really been drawn in the last few months to a lot of books that are on my list that require a lot more like pencil and watercolor. So this paper feels fairly thick. Like I would try a watercolor on this. Ink tints I would probably test. This feels maybe like a little thicker than like a Kirby Rosanna's paper. It's really smooth. This is really smooth paper though. So I would probably use my softer, for me, tends to be smoother the paper, the softer the pencil, but everybody colors differently, and some people like the opposite look. And so this would probably be like Artesas and Black Widows and Prismacolor for me to try. I like this picture a lot with the little mouse. That might be my favorite picture in the book so far. And you could do this, like you could color this like grass, or you could color this like it's like phlox or something, some sort of some sort of covering flower, which I think would be also a cool kind of different way of coloring it. You get quite a few pages in these books. I don't quite understand what's happening here. She's on there and he's holding it, but where is it? Oh, it's the spider holding it. Oh, ew. I don't like that fuzzy spider none. I like that the spider is just like, oh, whatever, and it's the mouse that's struggling. That is cute. It seems like they really bug each other a lot when they're sleeping. Like, they just don't seem to like when their brothers and sisters are asleep. Like, I would be mad in this family. I would never get any sleep. They'd constantly be waking me up. Like my dudes. I know it's just a place for that flower, but it looks like he is yakking the flower out like or he's got it in his mouth. That must be what it is. He's holding it in his mouth, but from that angle it looks like it just like surprise. Blah. Here's a flower. My cats do that with hairballs all the time. They think it's a gift. Trust and believe it's not a gift. Alright. So there's that one. The blood elves. And this one is, I believe, the Enchanted Forest. Now, this is one I see most people have, I think. Though, I've seen a few people with the other one. And again, you go through some coloring stuff, tips. I already tell you, I think I like this book better because... Did I skip over a page? Feels like I skipped over a page. I did. Just because it's a variety of like little elves, little fairies. Uh-oh. Sorry, I heard Leroy. I thought that meant he was coming over here. I like them on their little bike there with the mouse and the frog. That's a cute picture. I really like this one. Jeez, it's very easily able... If I skip some pages in here, I apologize, but it is not making it easy here. Like I said, this paper feels a little thick. Does this feel any different than the other? I don't know. If it does, it's a little thicker. I don't know. I'm really not a good judge of paper. All I can say is it's not thin. It's not like Amazon paper level. It feels about what you get in typical books like this. And just the only thing I absolutely do know is it's super smooth. I'm gonna see where else I can find these. Etsy or eBay or something like that probably is my guess. That's cute. Though that frog is looking like he's not supposed to be in that bed, and he's like, heh heh heh, I'm in here now. Ha ha, I showed you. He's real excited about that. The frog seems to be the comedic relief of this book. That is some stretching. That's all I gotta say. Like, if I tried to bend like that, y'all'd have to put me in traction. You'd have to find a doctor to unbend me. In fact, I probably couldn't be unbent without just, she's staying that way the rest of her life. You're gonna have to rig up the Kindle to display upside down text and hang. You're gonna have to put a shelf on her butt. Though my butt could be a shelf with the size of it. And rig up the Kindle so she can read upside down, because that's pretty much all she's. And work would be like, hey, we can accommodate that, and then would just totally rig me up something that would be an upside down laptop. It'd be like, oh, you could just type that way, it'll be fine. Don't let that slow you down. Oh gosh. Anyway. I'm trying, guys. I really am. What is happening there? That's a whole lot of chaos. Oh, why not just catch the kid? Like, y'all are trying to keep the mushroom from falling over, but like, maybe catch the kid first, then do that. I like the pictures with like the dandelions, like the little seeds. I think that's just, I always think those are so pretty looking. Not when you accidentally inhale like a mouthful of them, but frog's getting a bath. There, see, he's up to something. That frog always looks like he's up to something. Hopefully y'all can see the other side fairly well. My primary light's right here, so I probably should have cut out one of these other books. I did not realize how long it would take to flip through these. I love the frog and the mouse in these. And looks like alive mushrooms. That's a little scary. Alright. And then there is a really heavy piece of like cardboard back here. I almost wonder if you could figure out how to get that loose. That would work really well as a page behind, like a blotter page. Alright, so I picked up a couple Coco books. Two, one I knew I was going to pick up, and the other two I was like, why not? I think there is a light at the end of the tunnel, though, because I really need to put a halt to the book buying. There's one book from Joshua Dunbar that's set to hit any day. It's another one of his Cuties series. I'm kind of waiting on that one. And then I think in May, except for the very end of May, there aren't any pre-orders coming in. And since I've bought a bunch of the books off like Book Depository and Etsy and stuff recently, I probably won't. I'm not going to say it. Every time I say it, it never happens. So I'm thinking this will start to dry up a little in May. So we'll see. Anyway, Mystical World is, I think, their newest release by Coco. I thought this one looked super cool. I seriously think I could own just about all of the Coco books and be happy, but I'm trying not to do that because they put out a lot of books. Now this one, I didn't get that nice solid cool, like black background. I got more of the dark gray with a line on the back of the pages. I'm a bit bummed about that. That's kind of cool. They added the step of I would say here it says wet mediums are advised to be accompanied by a sheet of paper behind the page or coloring. I would recommend doing that for any medium you use. So if you're new to coloring, whether you're using markers, pencils, watercolor, anything, I always put a page behind, because if you press hard with the pencil, sometimes transference from the line art on the back of the page can happen. Sometimes the dents from the page, if you're pressing really hard on the pencil, can transfer. Markers for sure. Like, you're gonna bleed through the back of the page, and so usually I do a piece of cardstock behind just to make sure it doesn't bleed through any further. And then wet mediums as well. Just, you don't want any transference to the page behind you. And particularly in Amazon books, I would always recommend I always use it just because it gets me in the habit of it, right? Like, whatever I'm using. So if I only used it for certain things, then I would get out of the habit of it, and I would be so mad because so many pages would be ruined because I did that. So I get more of a dark gray in the black ground. I was trying to put all the words. I was putting them in a shorter way to make the sentence more efficient. So it's not like a super like luscious black background that I get. It's a hit and miss with Amazon books. But it's still doable. I could either leave it, or if it really bothers me, just go back over it with a marker. It wouldn't take very long. Now on these pages, I'll probably just leave it as is. But y'all know I saw this picture, and it had cats and space, and I just... waiting for the coloring book of cats in space. Like, who's gonna make that happen? That's from the front cover. Now, I would love all these to be black background. However, a lot of people prefer a mix, or they prefer white backgrounds. So I do appreciate that Coco does a variety in their imagery. I could always black out. Like this one I feel like you could have blacked out because this looks like a nighttime scene in the background, but like I said, some people just don't like all black backgrounds, and that's cool. As a coloring book creator, I'm sure your goal is to hit the widest variety of audience. Plus, also, again, to be fair with Amazon printing, you never know what it's going to look like. And for some people, it doesn't even look this good. So sometimes it's a bit tricky adding it in an Amazon book. So I get it. This is really cute though. I like the variety of these images. There's a little bit of Zentangles, and I call it Zendoodle, but the official term is Zentangle. There's a little bit of that in here, but in some of the pictures, but not so much that I feel like it takes away from the picture. Like, when I started coloring early on, everything had that Zentangle kind of look about it, and I didn't like that because um, I felt like I had to color every single piece a different color, and it just drove me crazy. And just over time, I preferred more images like this, or if it has a little bit of it, and once I come across a picture like that, I will show you. This would be cute for Halloween or autumn. Once I come across, so like here in the waves where there's some little patterns in the lines and stuff, that's kind of what I'm talking about, is where they create here. So you've got these little lines, you've got these little decorative half circles here, a little bit of decoration up on the flamingo's neck. That's what I'm talking about. But like this is fine because it's just one part of the overall picture, and it's to give it a little bit of definition. So I'm cool with that. It's just when the whole page is like that, like it's the flamingo and the leaves and the jar, bottle, whatever that is, like that's where it drives me crazy. So I like a more balanced approach. A lot of times with those books, I've had to really learn over time, and not that I've learned very well, but over time I've had to try to teach myself that it's rainbow and it's snowing, or are these just dots? Who knows? You can be whatever you want. Or like this one. I like that one a lot. There we go. He's got a little bit on him. Here, on this moon, all these patterns. Some good examples. Like I said, it's just in here a little bit. And I like that, because it seems like it's either all or none in most books. And if you could make it work in a design, then I don't see any problem with that. As long as it's not in, you know, every image. But I'm having in the books where it's very heavy, like in the Mystical Cats in Secret Places. It's pretty heavily Zentangle. And I like the book, and so and it's very busy. It also makes the page a lot busier too. So one of the reasons I'm coloring in that book, and I'm trying to train myself in that, is to take some of those sections and look at them as a whole, and I can color them all one color. I don't have to color every little bit and bob and shape differently. Love this picture too. They have like some, I don't know who their artists are, but they have like some just really creative, there's another, see, just the elephant though. Um, they have some really creative artists, like just what they envision, right? Like, I feel like they come out with some really unique concepts for books and for imagery, and I feel like this is one of them. So yeah, now we're getting a little more into those. But like this feels like a book of just mostly circles. Like any type of imagery that's just in a circular format. Which is kind of interesting. I was talking about that, I think, in the last flip through where I was saying how appealing that oval shape was for like kind of a mandala look. And so now, my personal preference, I would have wished the fox was a little less busy. However, I have plenty of plain fox pictures that I can color, and so he can present a bit of a creative challenge for me. So, it's amazing how optimistic I can be when it comes to coloring books, yet with life. I just can't do it the same way. But anyway, they've got some really creative, like, just, I don't know, like, unique artists. Oh my gosh, that whole background's black, and it's just gorgeous. Love that one. I don't know. I really, like I said, there's only been a couple Coco books that I'm not like as thrilled with as I thought I would be, but like I'm still keeping them because I like the subject matter. Um, so this one was kind of a random pick. It was recommended. I don't think I've seen anyone flip through this one before. This is The Midnight Dream by Coco. And I just thought it was an interesting concept. So basically, she's in all these pictures and like she is having one heck of a night of dreams, let me tell you. I'd like to think this is like what she dreams every night, but now the black on this one looks really nice and sharp. See, look at that. Look at the difference. Did these come from the same location? They came in the same order. Coppell, Texas. Coppell, Texas. So even at the same location and the same order, you could get two books printed from Amazon and they look different. Like, it's pretty wild. Every time I close my eyes, a colorful world appears. Her colorful world is a little bit spoopy. I'm just saying. Like, she looks super happy to be there. She's there with all the ghosts, taking a picture for Instagram, I guess, and who knows what this thing is in the background. Well, if she's sleeping in the graveyard, that's her first problem. I mean, I wouldn't expect happy dreams if I was falling asleep in a cemetery. Just call me crazy here. Here she is having a marshmallow roast with the... I'm assuming these are the older ghosts. Like, the newer ghosts still have their form. And then I have no idea what this, like, weird sky snake thing is. She seems awful happy no matter where she's at, though. Like, I just love it for her that she's digging the graveyard. Maybe in her dream she wakes up in the graveyard. Oh, is there sayings on both sides? No, it's just here. Dream or reality? Well... yeah, the black printing on this one's just luscious. Look at her jamming out with the alien band. hiding from the... That's a lot of eyes on that thing. That's a little disconcerting. She at least doesn't look real excited about that, so... Heck, that helmet or hat, it just says yeah on it. That makes me think of Dragon Ball, like Dragon Ball Z. I think it was a Dragon Ball Z episode early on where like Vegeta has this shirt on, and on the back it just says Bad Man on it. Like I guess it was just the straight translation from the original, and it sounds so like not what you would expect on there. Man, we are having a party, and it is a dancing on the table party. That is that is something, all right. I really dig in the adventures with the aliens. Oh, now we're on a planet of animals, but she is gigantic. That's the intrusive thoughts picture. That is the I could start doing a clog dance in the middle of the street and start taking people out left and right, but I'm not going to, but that's what my brain's telling me. No, no, she's a helpful type. Here she is helping them put the star on the tree. It's like is that a birthday cake for Jesus? Very cool. Or somebody's having a birthday at the same time. Could be a little bit of one, a little bit of the other. Here she is helping them pick apples from the tree. She gets to sneak one, but of course it's like berry sized. What does this woman take to have dreams like this? Like, does she take Ambien? Is it something I can't really say in this video if I don't want it to get demonetized? Like, what gets you these types of dreams is what I need, what I want to know. See, I think it's fun, but then I'm also kind of like, I've had those nights where it just seems like you dream all night, and like I just wake up more exhausted. Like, this looks all fun and good, but would I wake up and just be exhausted? Like I've been gallivanting on all these adventures. I love the like circles in the background. I feel like you could play a lot with like some bright colors in the background there. That's very cute. Oh, and now she's out in space riding a bunch of pumpkins. Oh, now she's hanging out with witches. She is a witch. An honorary witch. I keep missing this stuff over here. The formula for my life palette. A little bit of courage, a little bit of curiosity, a little bit of fun, full of dreams. I kind of like these little quotes. They're not on every page though, so I think I miss a lot of them. Oh, she's putting sugar and stuff in this. Like this must be like dinner instead of... I don't see any newt eyes or anything like that. Now they're it's gigantic junk food. Well, you know, if I was a witch, that would be a nice perk of being a witch. Who needs DoorDash, right? When you're a witch, you can just wish it right there in front of you. Oh my gosh, witches would put DoorDash out of business. Because they could just wish it there for you. Like, boom, you wouldn't even have any wait time. Like, we need to get on that. And here we are having a party. She really likes parties in her dreams. Have y'all noticed that? She is a party girl. Okay. I'd be willing to work from the office if I had a broom. If I had a broom and I could just fly over the cars and, like, you know, just fly to work, like, okay, maybe I'd work from the office then. That would I actually like that dream. Let's make that one a reality. I like that. Yeah, the black background in this, I mean, just compared to the other one. I mean, if I had to pick, because this one has more black in the backgrounds, I guess if I had to pick one of them to be more better printed, it would have been this one. Man, we're still partying with the witches and the ghosts. These will be some real fun ones. I mean, I color Halloween any time of the year, but like these will be really fun. Oh my gosh. Sorry guys. I know this has been a long one. I just didn't realize how big those first two books were. She's falling into a... Oh, that looks like Seymour from Little Shop. Oh, now she is on a horse riding in the battle. She's shooting at the sun for some reason, though. Not quite sure. Oh, she's... Could be a queen or a king. You could kind of turn this one way or another. Could be a girl, could be a dude. Yep. Now she's battling the dragons. And coming up on tiny baby dragons, too. And there's everybody for a group photo. Oh, and a few other people for a group photo. She actually looks concerned for the first time in that one, though. I wonder why. Huh. These feel a little out of order. Are we back to the... Wait. So, okay, maybe I get this. Because she fell asleep in the graveyard. Had all these dreams. Then she woke up from the graveyard and, like, is this her reality? Like, oh boy. This book, man. This book makes me think. But it's fun. I don't know. I really like it. It is definitely... I'm trying to see if there were any other writing. I wish there had been more quotes because it felt kind of random. I think it was just those 2 pages, which is fine. Yeah, I guess it was dream or reality. Like, which one's her dream and which one's her reality? Like, is she... Yeah, who knows? Anyway, I think it's fun. I think it's a nice, non-realistic... I bought a lot of books that are really based in, like, realism lately. And so it kind of feels good to buy a book that's a little more unique and out there, I guess. And so, Spooky Cutie from Coco, speaking of a little out there. Looks like I got the other, the dark gray black background for this one. I kind of went back and forth on this one. Like, I couldn't make up my mind. But I really liked the pages. Of course, y'all know how much I loved this page. So these are cute, but they also just have a little bit of a disconcerting feel about them. The third eye drives me crazy. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm not... I get wigged out on a third eye. If it's just one eye, it's different. But when it's three eyes, I'm like, nah. And then, I know. I don't understand it either. But like, then I see the other pictures in this book too, and I'm like, and I like those pictures. It's just I can't really stare at the eyes while I'm coloring it. That would have been a great Easter picture. Okay, that's too many. That's too many. Like, you don't like three? Let's throw six in there and see how you like it. Holy Hannah. Why don't you just stick some of them in the back of her head so then she can see behind her as well as in front of her? I feel like there's some very light like, shading and little bits and pieces on here. I like the horse with the skull head. Like, I like horror movies. I just don't like coloring horror that much. So I don't have any of the, why can't I think of them? The Guliana series of books. Because that's just a little too, like, I like the images. It's just not something I like to color. Like, this is just disconcerting enough that I like it because it's weird, but not like, I don't know. I don't know what my line is. There's a line there. Oh my god, that's too many eyes. Whew. The ones in the sides of his head are like crazy big too. It's the multiple eyes. I don't know what it is. Now see, that one's over here. The rose looks like he poached his. Like, one eye is okay. Two eyes, perfectly fine. But for some reason, you get more than two eyes. Oh, and he's very sad he lost his eye. If I saw somebody like that with two little dolls that look like that, I would be very concerned. I do like the design of some of the eyes, how they're not just standard looking eyes. I think Winry is howling. I'm gonna have to get over that if I want to color these images, because I do like these images otherwise. I think they're just, again, cool, a little bit weird. Oh, I love this one. He is all dressed up and ready to go out in the town, and he looks like the fact that he had to sew his mouth shut. He's like, I can't eat too much at dinner. I've got to be able to continue fitting in this outfit. So he sewed his mouth shut so he wouldn't eat. I mean, that's a way to do it, I guess. Or maybe he just doesn't want to chomp his date. Like, he's scared he's going to bite her head off, so he's going... That's a very considerate, terrifying, stuffed-looking crocodile, I have to say. Very considerate. Michelle, why did you buy a book that has images that unnerve you? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. They unnerve me, but like, not so much that I still don't want to color the picture. It's just I can't look at that eye very much. Winry is howling at the top of her lungs, and I don't know why. I have to go see. I really like the book otherwise. There's a lot of these types of books out that are like spooky cute and kawaii, spooky kawaii and stuff, and I have a lot of them. And they're very cute, but they're not very spooky. Like, this one actually has an air of, like, some of these pictures, this has a spooky feel to it, like a legit spooky feel. And I appreciate that. Well, I feel like it makes this one stand out just a little bit more. because I love those books. Oh my gosh, I would have like a whole shelf of them because they're popular. It's a popular type of book to do, and I love them. And they're cute, but like this one, this one generally feels like a spooky, cute book. So I feel like they really hit the mark with it. Oh, especially this one. Yikes. I like the frowny face on his I can't say the word. On his thing he uses, the Grim Reaper uses. You know, those three eyes are shaped in a different way. Those don't seem to bother me. I don't know what that thing is, but he is pretty darn cute. At least he would be till he started tearing into my limbs. Like, you don't know if that thing's here to grant you a wish or, like, impale you. Could be one, could be the other. I like the stuffed animal look that looks like they're alive. Like Franken animals or something. And I like the skull look stuff too. Like I said, this one just, they've got some real creative, like, artists. I mean, all the artists that I get books from are super creative. It's just I don't know. Like I feel like they'll do cute books like but every once in a while they kind of let them, like, you know, do your thing, and they think out of the box, and then they come up with like these types of books. So there you go. Sorry I spent so long going through these books, but of course more to add to my Coco Wild collection and my two German books here. Um, like I said, with these two, I'll see where I can find them. Hopefully I can find them. This was one of the reasons I picked them up because, as I've said to my friend Tammy, at the end of the day, we're not only colors, but I feel like we're collectors too, right? Like a lot of us, we love art and we love art books, and you know, you wouldn't say anything to anybody who collects a whole bunch of art books and keeps them on or collects art, you know, and that's kind of like for some of us that's what we do, right? We're going to color in them, or we hope to one day, but also buying them just for the art I think it's perfectly acceptable too, because it's like any other collection, right? Like, I mean, as long as nobody, I I see some people still struggle with it, and I gave up a long time ago. Don't tell people how to spend their money. Like, if somebody is able to go and buy a bunch of expensive stuff and expensive books all the time, like, be like, cool for them. I'm glad they are, and they seem, and they're happy about it. Like, good for them, right? Like, and if you've got somebody who can buy, you know, one or two books a month, and you know, I'm happy for them too, because you know, they're enjoying their hobby, and maybe some people just buy the books that they know they're going to color in, and they keep their number low because maybe they're minimalists or they have limited storage space. Like, I applaud those people for their ability to make those types of decisions. But you also have people that have hundreds of books because they like to collect them, and I'm just as happy for those people. Like, just, it does not affect you in your personal life if somebody is going and spending their money, unless it is your spouse, or like you live in the house with your sister or something, like, unless it is somebody related to you or married to you, what they do with their money and their space and their time does not affect you. Like, just, some people almost these days feel like nervous to share books and supplies they've picked up just because they get such a negative response about it. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you have a negative response on my channel, I will probably delete your comment. I have noticed, weirdly, since I've hit 3,000, that I've already started getting some negative comments. And so I guess it just means my videos are getting out there to more people. But like, trust and believe, this is my channel. You do not have any, I don't mind you commenting, and if you're honest and you're respectful and stuff, like, most of the time I'll just leave your comment. But if it's like, I don't have to leave it, I can just delete it, and I might. And if you don't like it, then make your own channel and complain about it. Like, this is my space. So anyway, okay, I'm trying to find something to rant about, and I need to reel it in. But anyway, speaking of which, by the way, so I have 2 other books on standby for a flip through, but I was hoping to get, I have 1 other book coming in, and then I was hoping to get Joshua Dunbar's book too before I do my next flip through. So depending on when that hits, it could be, and I'll try to post it on the community page when it's live. It might be Friday, it might be next weekend. Next weekend, unless something massively changes and things, I can finally start making some decisions and whatnot. My plan next weekend, because I'm supposed to get everything, is to do a book and supply haul. Speaking of which, I splurged on the museum aquarelle watercolor pencils. I saw those in Christina's Art Corner, did a haul video the other day that showed those, and the Goldfaber markers that are out that are kind of, I think, supposed to rival Tombow, but it's an ink-based marker, so I'm curious to see whether they bleed through or not. And but they're like really juicy markers, and they're not cheap, but I splurged on them, and I'm hoping to get those this week and include those I'm not going to do the supply haul till I get those, because this feels like probably the last big supply haul I should do for a while. So so that's probably what I'm going to spend next weekend doing. So you'll get a flip through in between. You'll get my finished book when I do finish this picture of Fantasy Women, either tomorrow or Tuesday. So you get a couple videos from me for the next week. So just as an heads up. And yeah, and I guess that's pretty much it. I want to talk and I want to rant and rave, but I feel like I've done that enough on videos for now, and I just, you know, let's leave it on a note, not, I guess, a positive note, but just not a negative downer of a note. So I do hope you guys have a good start to the week. If you don't, there's always a possibility all those videos will wait and then be shown at the end of the week, just because I run out of time to do them during the week. So but anyway, I've not posted on Instagram in forever. I'll see if I can, gotta have finished pictures to post though. I'll see if I can post them on Instagram this week too. Same name on Instagram, by the way, if you're on there and you haven't followed me. Alright guys, y'all take care, and bye for now.